All right, I call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Jodine, has attendance been taken? Yes. Now we will move to a roll call vote to enter into closed session for a discussion of real estate and the director's evaluation. I suggest that the board meet in closed session under Section 8(1)D of the Open Meetings Act for the discussion of real estate and under 8(1)A of the Open Meetings Act for the director's evaluation. Do I have a motion to move into closed session?
So moved. Second.
Jodine will take a roll call vote.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Hadley?
Yes.
Trustee Haynes?
Yes.
Trustee Kleinman?
Yes.
Trustee Solomon?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
Trustee Trudeau?
Yes.
Wonderful. We will now recess into closed session.
Be back at 7 p.m.
We will
W
reconvene at
question
7
left.
p.m.
I
Jodine
wonder
has attendance
when
been
Toby
taken.
is going to be
We
done.
will now
I
move
hope
into
he
the
doesn't miss
approval
all
of
of
the
this
agenda. Do I have a motion
awesomeness.
to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Otto,
Second.
my
All those in
friend,
favor,
you
please signify by
found the
saying
last
yes.
one.
Opposed?
One.
The agenda passes. Moving on into the
Did you
consent
know
agenda. Do I have a
that you
motion for the
don't need
approval
a
of the
clock
consent
to
agenda?
tell time?
So moved. Second.
With just
All
a
those in
few
favor, please signify
simple
by saying
household
yes.
instruments
Yes.
like
Those opposed?
a paper plate,
Consent
a pencil, a
passes.
straw,
We will now
and
move
a
into
compass
public
if you
comment.
have one.
Public
Oh,
comment is an
and
opportunity
the
for
sun.
members of the public
You're
to
going to
speak
need the
before
sun.
the board.
That's pretty
Topics
important.
must be related to Ann Arbor
With
District
those
Board of
objects,
Trustees
you can
or
make
matters within
the
their
oldest
authority.
known
To speak during
instrument
the
for
allotted time
telling
on the
time,
agenda for public
the
comment,
sundial.
please fill out a
If
public
they are
comment
correctly
form with the
placed,
executive assistant
sundials can
before
be
the
used
allotted
to
time.
tell time
Participants may only
accurately
speak once per
down
meeting,
to
and each speaker is
the
limited to
minute.
3 minutes.
So
You
why
can
don't
also
you
reach
gather
out to
those
the board by
supplies we
emailing
talked about?
board
Plus, a
comments
ruler
at
might be handy, and I like to have a little ball of clay or fun tack to hold your straw in place.
AADL.org/public
First, you want to find the center of your plate. And
And
once you have marked the center, you are going to use the sharp end of your pencil to carefully poke a hole into the center of the plate.
Good evening, everyone. You look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for this.
Then you will
fairly
put the
late
straw into the hole so that it's
hour.
sticking
I am
straight
making a
up. You
public
can put the
comment
little piece
on
of
the
clay on the bottom if you
wonderfulness of
want
the summer game.
to hold the straw.
I
You
have
are going
enjoyed
to
it
use
now
a
for
ruler, and you can
at
take the
least
straw
6
out to do
years,
this
I
part.
think.
Use a ruler
And
to
I
draw
learned
a
something
straight
new
line
every
from the
batch
hole
I do.
to
So
the top
it's
of the plate.
awesome.
And then
And as a
at the
retired
other
man,
end of
I
the
need
straight line,
entertainment.
you are going to write the number 12 along the
So
edge of your plate.
thank you very much
This number
for
12 is
supporting
going
this
to
for so
anchor
long.
the rest of your
And
clock.
please keep it going.
Thank you for sharing.
One small comment. An improvement that could be made
Just
is the
before noon,
leaderboard,
you're going to want to take
which I
your
am close to the
sundial
bottom of.
outside and use your compass to find
challenges
north. I
me
used
to
the
get
compass
all the
on my
way down
phone, so I
there.
placed a rock where north was.
So I would love
And
it
then
if
you are
it
going to
allowed
put
for
the
a
line with the
name
12 on the top
search.
facing north. You'll see that the sunlight is making a different line with the straw. And that is where
Okay,
noon
I-
is.
yeah, usually
so
I'm on
right
phone
at 12
numbers.
o'clock, slide your plate around so that the
Okay.
line with the 12 is lined up by the line made from the straw.
Evidently, I need
Straw in
lessons
this
too.
case is acting
Thank
as
you,
the
and thank you
gnomon,
again for your support of
which
this wonderful.
is the pointer on a sundial, and the sundial stays in place. The gnomon's shadow changes position as the sun moves through the sky
If you make a
over
comment,
the course of the day.
help yourself to a gavel pen.
Come out every hour throughout the afternoon and use the gnomon's shadow to mark each hour on the plate. You'll have to return in the morning to mark the remaining hours on the
Hi
other
everyone,
side of the
I'm
meeting.
Gaurav
For
Kulkarni,
example,
and I
10
just
and
wanted to
11 a.m.
express my profound
Then your
gratitude
sundial
for
will
the
be ready to
library
tell
for
time
the summer
whenever
game.
the sun is out.
In a recent article, Eli, you were quoted talking
Your
about
sundial
how
will tell time
the summer game
using the
allows
sunlight,
for
just like the hour
all of these
hand
different
moves
ways in which
around a
we
clock
can
face
interact with
and
the library,
points to
not
the current
just
hour.
through reading.
Sundial shows the current hour
And I think
with
that's
the shadow.
it's a really profound
It's
thing
interesting
for
to
us.
note
And I think
where
it's
the
really
lines are
great to
drawn
have a
on your
library
plate.
that centers
It doesn't
all
always
of the
look
different ways
exactly
in which
like
we
a
can
clock.
learn, get informed, get connected with our community, and so
Well,
I
it
just wanna say
was
thank you.
wonderful to meet
I also
you
wanted
all.
to express my gratitude to all of the staff members and workers that make the library what it is. Just the amount of effort that goes into planning out the games, play testing, thinking of all of the programming and activities. The safety team, I'm always impressed with the work that they do. And So yeah, the library is what it is because of all the people working there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Taking a picture because I will forget. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Bassiuni. First, I wanted to say, I think similar to my comment that I made last summer, thank you once again for serving as a cooling and warming center for our community. It is a literal life-saving service that you all provide in addition to other places in the county, and especially not last week, I think, but the week prior with the heat waves, it was such an important thing that I knew if I needed it or people I knew and cared for needed it, that they could come here. So thank you so much for that. And then I also love summer game, and I had a little note for myself because I had a very heavy day last week, and I was really feeling the weight of it. And then I was about to cross the street, and I was feeling very just low. And then what goes by? But a summer game bus. And even though I'd already seen it, had already got the code, it felt like I could actually breathe for a second just because I associate now summer game with such joy and curiosity and excitement. And I was trying to think of how I would describe it. And I was like, it feels like you're not expecting a loved one to be there. They tap you on the shoulder, you turn around, and they grab you with a big hug. So it kind of felt like that, and it felt like just a breath of joy. And so I also wanted to reiterate Garv's comment, and I'm sure other people as well will probably speak to thank you for every single staff person and volunteer who helped make the library as wonderful as it is. And the last thing, and I might have just missed this, so as I am myself caring for folks who are older in my life, I would love if the library partners with organizations to just put on events around elder care or services in the community. Maybe it's already there and I just missed it. I was looking through the events and was having a hard time looking for upcoming or past events. So if that's something that the library could do, I think of it kind of like the story time for kids, but instead story time for adults. And so I think I would really find that valuable. And yeah, thank you all for all that you do. Happy summer game. Okay.
Thank you.
Kelly?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Milliner. I just want to thank you all. The library has been such an amazing tool for me, both in times of joy and times of need. Like my friend over here, I've also gone through some heavy stuff recently, and the summer games has just brought a lot of joy into my life the last few years. And an additional program that I want to give a huge shout out to is the world famous trivia. I go every single month with my friends, my brother, who is also an employee of the library, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Kit for all the work that he does for the trivia every month. So thank you to you all for serving on the board, thank you to the staff, and thank you to the patrons who make this place everything that it is.
Thank you.
Amy?
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Crude. First of all, I really want to thank you for the seed program. My cucumbers and beans look amazing right now, and it brings me such joy to just look at them every day, and it makes me feel connected to the community. And also, seeds can get really expensive, and a lot of times you're like, well, I just don't need this huge pack. So just a handful that are free is so amazing. So thank you, and I would love to see that continue. One request I have is that these sort of quiet areas in the library are like more advertised maybe as being quiet. It feels like most people will be in like the social area if they want to eat and talk and take phone calls, and most people will be in the quiet area if they want to work. But there's like always one person who's like brings their big loud lunch to the quiet area, or one person taking a phone call, and it just kind of makes it less of a nice place to work. So that would be my request. But thank you all so much, and I love the library. I love the summer game.
Thank you.
Kathy?
Hi, my name is Kathy Chow. I'll be the first Kathy Chow tonight. I'm just going to echo what everyone else has said. Thank you to the board, the staff, the volunteers, patrons, anyone that uses the library and making it such a wonderful place. I will admit that while I've always been a library lover, it was the summer game that really brought me into the Ann Arbor District Library. Maybe 10 years ago, close to when it started. I think that's, I want to thank you for the new puzzles in the summer game. Those have been really fun, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Kathy Chow. All right, before I forget.
Hello, I'm Kathy Chow, number 2. And I wanted to talk about this. My coworkers asked me about my favorite browser from or search engine from retro years ago, and some people were saying Ask Jeeves or Yahoo, and I said the library, because the library is always this place. This is a super cheesy answer. They're all like, whoa. But I was like, no, the library is where information was originally stored and organized and searched for, and it still is today. One thing that I've been having trouble learning more about from modern search engines is more local stuff. So for example, with election season, this is an election year coming up, I've been having a hard time figuring out a lot of the local specific Ann Arbor or Ann Arbor area things and how to get involved or stay informed and be a good voter. So I saw that there was a badge on the transportation. I really loved the advertising of just other things that are going on in the city, and especially because it's so hard to find that information. And it's also really hard using search engines because you have to vet your sources, and they're not always, you have to do that work for you. And whereas if it's the library, you always know that it's something that's reputable. And so far, all I've learned is from this podcast called Ann Arbor AF on how to figure out different districts. But I would love to see either a badge or maybe some information on the different kinds of boards that are in Ann Arbor. That Ann Arbor City Council is different from library boards, different from school board. They have different jurisdictions, and how we can be better citizens by going to the right boards and getting involved. So any of that stuff would be really awesome to see. And thank you so much for all your work and making everything so accessible to everyone. So thanks.
Thank you.
Christine?
Hi. I'm also here for the summer game, but I just wanted to say it's been such a pleasure to play. I've been playing, I think, seriously since 2022, and it's really helped me, especially as I was in school over the summer. Sometimes I would have a lot of unstructured time, and I'm someone, I think, who really enjoys having little tasks. So doing the summer game has just been a really great way for me to figure out how I can spend my time and feel engaged in my community, and then also explore different places in Ann Arbor that I had never been to. So I'm a huge fan. And then I think one comment or request I would make is possibly for a way for library super fans or bike club members to contribute to badge creation. I think that's something I would love to do if there was any way to do that. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, board. My name's Beth. I'm a longtime attendee, first-time speaker. I've worked at the library going on 19 years next month, and I'm just here to say I love the summer game. I'm tickled by the punniness of my coworkers, and it just makes me really proud to be part of the library. Just a shout out to everyone that's developed, created, and maintains all of our staff that help with summer game and everything we do. If you're collecting codes, my lawn code is K-POP, K-A-Y-P-O-P. And that's my story. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, I'm Luai. I have this. Some of you are new faces, so I haven't been here for a year. Probably was about 50 pounds heavier last year, and that's due to the summer game last year. Probably put 500 miles on my bike all around Ann Arbor, so yeah, humble brag, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I'd like to let the board know how wonderful the director is at the Vets Park last year. The safety of the attendees was at his utmost concern. He took action immediately to ensure the safety of everyone, so really appreciate that. The staff is remarkable here, and Kathy, I can put a name with a face now, had an interaction with her just this past week down in the children's area, very nice, and the entire staff is just remarkable, and I think it starts right at the top with the director. So just want to share some comments about that, and I'm sure the evaluation, I'm not able to stay and hear about it, but I'll read about it online later, but I'm sure the evaluation will reflect that, and I hope there's strong support for the director. I really appreciate everything you do, and I love to see his face at all of the events. Every event, he's there smiling, night or day, morning, he's there, and you know, he's the face of the library, and the staff is just as remarkable too. So thanks so much, and I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, people. This is my first time talking over here, but like we are so thankful for you people, and we appreciate the game. And then we learn all the time, and then in the game that you have to search for the words, we learn a lot, okay? Because English is our second language, but whatever. We have fun, and we enjoy the game. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Apparently there's another kid who works on the trivia program. It's not me. Hello, board. My name's Kit. I have seen lots of you around. I've seen lots of everybody around. And I wanted to say that the pandemic and the current state of the world have made me realize that learning as many basic skills as I can helps me feel more secure in unstable times. Since the last summer game, I have learned how to do or make the following all at AADL branches and mostly in the secret lab, which is my favorite part of the library. Soldering circuits, building a nest box, bookbinding, machine sewing, making miniature art pieces, gouache painting, letterpress printing, Japanese thimble rings for hand sewing, traditional Korean patchwork sewing, heat press design and operation, laser engraving, and more. And most importantly, I now have a solid belief in myself that if I want to learn something, I can. I just need a little help sometimes, and I find that help right here. It's always free, which never stops blowing me away because there's no way I could have afforded to pay for classes in each of these things. And in addition, attending these events has given me a stronger sense of community because I'm actually not from Michigan, I'm from Missouri. But I now feel like the Ann Arbor area is a place of friends and wonderful acquaintances rather than a place of strangers. I see people from the secret lab, etc., at my job, at my dance class, around town when I'm doing errands, and I'm like, oh, hey, I talked to you at the library the other day, and it's awesome. So thank you to AADL for giving me that. I only hope I can give back a little bit with my presence and joy at all of these events.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. And hi everyone. I graduated during COVID time, and soon after I graduated, we were introduced to ChatGPT, and I loved it because it was making our lives easier. And then it stuck that there might come a time where I can maybe stop being curious and maybe not even think. And that's when I was talking to my dad and my grandparents who read a lot. All of us read a lot, and then we exchange our ideas and thoughts, views about the book or what the author might have been thinking while writing the book. So I live very close to Travel Library, and I started going there. There's so many books, and then puzzles, and all these games that she mentioned, the secret library, secret lab. I started coming to downtown library, and yeah, like the last one I attended before I went on a vacation was the botanical dye fabric painting, and it's there in my house. So yeah, thank you so much for all of this. And yeah, there are a lot of things I want to talk about. And this kind of inspired me to write an email to my undergrad university back in India saying, hey, this exists. I think we should have something similar there so that people who are younger than me, I call them the coming generation, they should not stop being curious to learn and also lose the ability to think on their own and not have ideas through ChatGPT or whatever the language learning models we have. So they also have started similar kind of summer game now. So thanks to you people for giving us the idea. And also there have been a lot of microscopes and musical instruments, photocopy machines and everything that have been in the lab where they can come and then even rent it for a minimal amount. So thanks for that. And also, I am not a small talk person, but I have so much to say during the meetings in my office. So thanks for that as well. And yeah, coming to summer game, I don't know how to start. I just want to say, like, by collecting the points, I'm also collecting friends. So thank you so much for that. And also, I have a small suggestion. Like, we have, like, to get to know the new codes, there is a checkbox for 3 days old code. But is there a way where I can mark, like, this code is completed so that I can just look somewhere else? That's a small suggestion. That's all. Thank you so much.
We get that question a lot, so I'm going to answer it. When we tried that, it was a disaster.
Oh.
Because people started determined to find the one code they hadn't found. And then they were tromping through people's yards after dark and shining flashlights in their windows. And so unfortunately, we've learned the monster that we have created cannot be fed in that way. Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elliot and Kay.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you for all the wonderful things that you've done for us. The gaming events, the summer game, all the free books. I mean, it's a library. And the puzzles they're amazing. And it gives us an excuse to go on bike rides to find lawn codes. It's amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for all your wonderful events this summer. Every summer we participate. It really gets us outside and going. So this is lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
David?
Hi, board. I try never to miss an opportunity when I am talking to one of the librarians in the branches to just observe how this is the pinnacle of civilization. And I don't mean civilization like we're all stuffy and having tea, but I mean just like when people get together to do stuff. This is the highest level of what people can do. So when I first moved to Ann Arbor several years ago, the lawn codes really helped me because I didn't realize that non-kids, I'm not claiming to be a non-kid, but that non-kids could participate. And one of my kids said, oh, yes, you can. So I was catching up, and it really helped me to learn all the neighborhoods of Ann Arbor. Among the things that the lawn signs do, aside from the fact that they raise awareness of the fact that the library exists for those who aren't library heads, it encourages people to get out and be like, well, I don't know, I don't live in Traverwood, but go see. And it's really impressive how the codes in the libraries encourage people to explore every nook and cranny. in some past years, some of them have been pretty well hidden in the stacks. And much as that has been a little bit of a problem for me tactically, it gets everybody to explore every nook and cranny. And there's so much, so that's really brilliant. Speaking of getting people to explore every nook and cranny, there's a Friends thing down in Parkland Ave. And I wonder if it could, admittedly, it's not open the way these sites are, but you know, if you come here and get all 15 codes, you get an extra bonus and stuff. And it might be helpful just to encourage people to go out to Parkland and it's not nearly as big, but poke around and see all the stacks and stuff to have a similar, smaller thing. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no more, I think we can move on. Thank you for that, everyone. We will now move into communications from trustees. I will start and just say that this is the most heartwarming and special part of this role, being a board member for the Ann Arbor District Library. We get to do a lot of fun, but I will say intense work with the budget, and this really contextualizes it for us, because in a time where we've had a federal administration that's immediately sought to cut funding to libraries and museums, we've been able to not only safeguard this programming and our precious resources, but actually expand them to have a delightful summer game. So I'm grateful to my board members, but also, again, as it's been said many times, the staff that powers this event, it would not happen without them. So thank you for being here and just really making our nights. It means the world. Any other, oh, you don't need to do that. Any other communications from trustees, should they feel moved?
I just have a quick one. I went to one of the big gay read events, and there were a lot of folks there. But it was just wonderful, and the staff is just crushing it. I feel like on every level, just so incredible, and just creating such safe spaces. It's really funny because people sometimes will learn I'm on the library board, and they're like, thanks for all the programming, and I'm like, lovingly, I don't have anything to do with that. This is a budget thing. Go thank the staff. So just endlessly grateful for all the work y'all are doing, and yeah, just grateful that we get to work with you. That's all.
Amazing. Seeing no more comments, we'll move into financial reports with Eli.
All right. Financial report begins on page 29 in your packet here. This is the penultimate financial report of this fiscal year. So these are the May financials. And at this point, we have received $22.8 million. That's 101.75% of our revenue, of our tax revenue. So it's pretty much done. It's pretty rare for us to get any actual cash in the month of June. So that's pretty much where we expect to see 101.75. The unassigned fund balance, that's the money that isn't designated for anything else, is $7.9 million. That's as of the end of May. That was after the transfer to the capital fund. If you look on page 30, the chart you can see that shows our fund balance for each month over the past couple of years, and looking at May, we're right in line with where the fund balance generally is this time of year, very close. So our total revenues at this point are $21.7 million. That's 94% of the budget after 91% of the fiscal year. That's where we like to be. And expenditures, $18.9 million. That's 82% of the budget after 91% of the fiscal year. And that gives us, at this point, an increase in our net assets of $2.7 million as of May 31st. We do expect that'll go down a little bit as the June invoices and such are processed. So as is typically the case, we will not have the June financials at the July meeting because it takes time to close the annual budget. But we should have those at the August meeting if we have one, or at the September meeting if we don't. And the one thing I wanted to point out on page 31 is that this year, the Friends of AADL have given us a total of $75,000, which is the most since well pre-pandemic. So thank you very much to the Friends, and we will be using that to help buy items for the shop as well as many other things. So thank you to the Friends for helping support that. And that is it for the financial report, unless there are any questions.
Wonderful. Seeing none, we will now move into committee reports. of which starts with me, an executive committee. We discussed the preparation of the 2025-2026 budget, which is on the agenda shortly. Additionally, as well as an update on the Observer and the redevelopment of our library, which we will also hear about shortly from Eli. Now we can move into our Budget and Finance Committee with Lisa.
Budget and Finance Committee did not meet.
Thank you. And now I will ask Scott to share an update about the Facilities Committee.
Facilities Committee met early in the month. We got an update on the work that's happening out at the Alpha and Parkland Plaza. So that's moving forward, marking out the perimeter for expanding the parking lot, figuring out where, how exactly how it's going to be arranged, where the lines are going to be, dealing with the green space. Len might have got to clear out some brush. Looking forward to hearing how that went. But that's underway. We also got an update on the Westgate generator. As of the beginning of the month, we were estimating delivery in November for the unit. We're still waiting for DTE on signing off on the configuration of things. So that's still moving along, and hopefully it'll be ready to go for this winter. And then with downtown, we'll hear from Eli on the update on the agenda tonight. And so we just got an update on that, and we'll hear more where that is tonight. So that was all we talked about.
Thank you, Scott. We will now move into the library report with Eli.
All right, so we can bring that up on the screen there. Here's the library report for today. And first off, we have the game code, so make sure that gets sent out to the stream for anyone watching from home. This is the game code for watching or attending this meeting. That's y'all aboard. And I think that's because we had collision with someone's unregistered home code, so I had to add a Y to the beginning of it. But it actually kind of works, so I like that very much. So that's the code for today's meeting, and if you're watching at home, you can certainly enter that and earn the above board badge. So let's talk about some statistics. So here's our door count for the past 30 days, and you can see when summer games start, when all of the door counts went crazy all on the same day. And then the next day, they went up even more. So that is an incredible start. And you can also see here, this is very common that Westgate and downtown are very in line with each other, except when we're having a large event. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then the three other branches are pretty close to each other, with Mallett's Creek being the most, Traverwood being in the middle, and Pittsfield bringing up the rear. And look it's not just that they had the burst for the first 2 days, it's that it establishes a new datum going forward for the rest of the summer. And even while there's a little bit of regression to the mean happening there, you can see that basically summer game completely changes the way that the library is used. And we have a lot more people coming through the door. And, you can actually see there that both Mallett's Creek and Traverwood had more people through the door on the first day of summer game than downtown had the previous day. And that is a very rare thing for those two lines to cross. So that's great to see. And then, of course, you can see this huge peak where this was A2CAF, those 2 days. We had just around 3,500 people through the door each of the 2 days of A2CAF. So that was a particularly big event for us. And moving on from there. But, we all kind of feel summer game is really big, and it is preposterously big. Wow. This is just the number of active players on the second Monday of the game over the past 3 years. That is 2 consecutive years of 30% growth year over year. This is ridiculous. And thank you for it being so ridiculous. But yes, we've already hit 14,392 players as of earlier today. For comparison, at the end of last summer, we were at 17,000. So we're certainly likely to blow right past that. I bet we'll come pretty close to 20,000 by the end of the summer. And just as put that in perspective, 17,000 players means 10% of the service population of the Ann Arbor district is playing the game. And that just does not happen in this industry. So thank you to all of our players, all of our staff for making all that happen, making this ridiculous growth possible. And along with that, speaking of ridiculous growth, here's the home codes map. We had 3,600 codes last summer. We have 3,200 codes right now. The map is getting a little slow to load as you zoom in and zoom out. And that is something that's just as of today, 3,200 lawn signs already out there. You can see some of them are outside of our service area. There are some overseas. We have verified them as existing. There's one in Wisconsin. There's one up in Leelanau. The one up in Leelanau is actually our system administrator. So, those are all out there, and we encourage, I think he's up to 10 redemptions. So you can all None of the overseas ones have been redeemed yet, but there's still time. So we hope that will work out. But yes, this is a very big map. And as I said before, we're sorry we can't let you see which ones you've gotten and which ones you haven't gotten. But you cannot get them all, and that is the main message. Unlike Pokemon, you cannot get them. So please don't try. So here's something. We talked about the Scroll-a-thon last summer. This was a national project that was organized by Stephen and William Ladd as artists under the auspices of the Kennedy Center. And each state produced a piece of artwork at a workshop that had a collaborative group of people come together. Ours is hanging right out here on the way in, and there is currently an exhibit mounted at the Kennedy Center of all 50 states, an image of that. So I was fortunate, I was in DC last week for an Internet Archive summit on how newsrooms and libraries can work together for news preservation. So as part of that, I went to go see the Scroll-a-thon. And there's our panel that we made, and there's the photograph of all the people who participated, some of whom are in this room. And that was a very fun event, very cool, unique piece of work. It's hanging out there, and it was great to see everybody's projects all around that. And big thanks to Stephen and William Ladd for making that happen. And that photo there, you can see the Watergate Hotel in the background. So that's just great to see all that at DC. And also, particular thank you to the Friends. They contributed $10,000 toward helping that project happen last summer. So we were very happy to be Michigan's representative as part of this 50-state project, and for all of our patrons to get to contribute to that collaborative artwork that now hangs here, and a reproduction of it at the Kennedy Center for another couple of weeks. So thank you all for participating in that. All right, here's some upcoming events. So on July 10th, the Summer Game Shop opens. This year, as I'm sure everyone in this room has recognized, we already posted everything that's going to be in it so that you can see what's coming and start planning how many points you'll need to be able to get everything. There's a lot of wonderful stuff in the shop this year. I particularly love the Akakoji Shin's playing cards. If they are just a delight. Every single one of the face cards, they were all designed by Jason Driscoll of Kiltope, and they just turned out so cute. So if you like playing cards at all, I highly recommend you pick that up, because it's just a terrific piece of art independently. So July 10th, the shop will open for orders. We do have 10,000 Akako SG Shin pants, so hopefully that will be enough. Last year we had to corner the global market on flamingos, so this was made to order, so hopefully that should be enough to make us through the summer. July 11th is the Summer Game Spectacular at Vets Park. July 29th is the Summer Game Mixer down in the Secret Lab. August 10th is another Summer Game Mixer down in the Secret Lab. August 21st is the Summer Game Skate at Yost Ice Arena. And August 30th, the Game Over Gala. And that is just 70 days away, so you got a lot of time to make up points and be ready to participate. We will have the return of the Game Over Gala auction, so you can spend your points down and get some rare things that you can't get anywhere else. Here's another big upcoming events. July 5th through 9th, here's something new that we're trying. It's Classic Arcade Week out at the ALF. We will have 20 vintage arcade cabinets all week long for free play, and if you get a high score at any point during the week, you'll be invited to a tournament on July 9th to see if you can succeed at a unknown series of classic games. So we hope you'll join us just for free play. Your participation in the tournament is not required. You could just come and play all you want on 20 vintage arcade cabinets out at our warehouse 265 Parkland Plaza, July 5th through 9th. July 11th, that's Summer Game Spectacular. Sunday, July 26th, we have a special guest, Sean Forbes. Deaf and Loud is the name of his program. He's a nationally recognized deaf rapper, hip-hop artist, and activist. That's him on the cover of the July events brochure, and we hope you'll turn out for that. That will be a very interesting event. And there's a Classic Arcade Week. We'll have some stickers for that as well. All right, here's some past events. Visions was June 3rd. That is our assistive technology fair. We had almost 1,400 attendees at the downtown library participating in that event. It's something we've been doing for a long time. It actually predates every single one of our other expos. So that is a great thing to still be happening at the library, and a wonderful opportunity for people who need to use assistive technology for visual impairments. Chuck Tingle was June 6th. We had 329 buckaroos in attendance at the downtown library. It was a terrific event. He was just very generous with all of his fans and did a wonderful job. It was a very funny talk. We also found out which cryptids and movie monsters Ann Arbor would most like to date. A2CAF, it was June 13th to 14th. It was at just over 7,000 over the weekend. And yesterday was Make Music Day. We had 22 venues all scattered around the town. town of people who opened their home to musicians. There were 51 performances, including bands, artists, musicians, music-related events all over town. And we organized a Sousa-Palooza at Top of the Park yesterday. We had almost 200 musicians playing 12 pieces by John Philip Sousa, conducted by Colonel Jason Fettig, retired, who is the director of bands at University of Michigan and is the former director of the Marine Band. And that was just a fabulous, wonderful event. We had probably well over 1,000 attendees listening. The weather was just perfect, and it was amazing to get to hear all of that incredible music. And this is where I note that New York City also has Sousa-Palooza, and they had about 27 musicians. So there you go. Get the library involved. Here's our return of the month. This isn't something we always had, but this showed up, and it is extremely special. This bookmark was found in a book donated to the Ann Arbor PTO thrift shop and was passed along to the library at the desk, introducing the Ann Arbor Public Library's new computer. It's new. In 1986, the Ann Arbor Public Library will begin using a computer to circulate library materials. Your library card and all books and materials will have unique barcoded labels like products and retail stores do. So that was a big conversion that we made in 1986. We adopted the computers. This was before my time, but we adopted the computer system called CLSI. Then we've since had 3 other automation systems before the one we had now. But that was the first time we had a computerized card catalog. It's the first time we had actual computerized records of what was checked in and checked out. Tells you a little bit more about how it works. What particularly blew my mind about this was old phone numbers. Like when I came to work at the library in 1997, we'd already gotten rid of all of those phone numbers because they belonged to the schools. So when we separated from the schools, we had to get all of our own new phone numbers. So I look at those and I was like, those aren't the phone numbers. What is that? So that was wild for me to see. So big thanks to our friends at the PTO Thrift Shop for saving this and giving it to us, because none of us had ever seen this. And this was great to see. All right, here's our staff spotlight for this month. This is Aurora Lee. She's a desk clerk. She's worked at AADL for 27 years. I was hired as a circulation clerk back in 1998, and now my job has evolved into desk clerk. I'm the proud grandmother of 4 grandchildren. I enjoy camping with them at many national parks throughout the United States. I also share my passion for crafts, which I learned at the library with them. As well as my most recent passion and goal is to see as many of the amazing Thomas Dambo recycled wooden trolls with them. So thank you to Aurora. She's a wonderful staffer, worked here for many years, and has done many craft programs over the years. Okay, here's our mention of the month. This is from the Songbird Cafe of Ann Arbor. Game on, come to Songbird and play the summer game by the Ann Arbor District Library. Find codes, earn points, and make summer more fun. A record of 41 official business window and lawn sign codes have created so far, plus dozens more the players made themselves. Those are just the ones that we made for businesses, which is nearly double 2025. And Rich made this slide earlier in the day when there were only 3,185 lawn codes. We passed 3,200 between the time he made his slide and I made mine. So that is wonderful, and thanks for the participation from the Songbird. And sorry, folks, they covered over their code. You'll have to find their business to see that. And I just wanted to add in one other mention of the month. This is from Matt Hampel on Blue Sky, and he said, thank you, AADL.org, for supporting OpenStreetMap. I'm at State of the Map US this weekend, which is a conference about mapping, was sponsored by the OpenStreetMap people. Amazing to see AADL and the company of these great folks contributing to this important work, and you can see their AADL listed as a supporter of OpenStreetMap. Without OpenStreetMap, there would be no summer game map, because one of the challenges is you can't use Google Maps without Google knowing what you've done. So as a result, we use the OpenStreetMap instead, which gives us all the functionality of Google Maps without revealing any of your personal information to the map. So that is a wonderful service, and we are happy to support that as several other open source projects that we support. But OpenStreetMap is terrific, and we're very happy to have that as one of our key technologies that underlie the summer game. Okay, here's a compliment of the month. A patron called to say that he loves the library. Most recently, he and his wife, both in their 80s, attended the drag review and had a blast. He congratulated us on getting the green light to build a new downtown library and said that he's been coming for over 50 years and he thinks it's a wonderful resource to the community. That came in via call center on June 15th. So thank you very much to that patron and his wife for using your library. Here's our complaint of the month. It's not exactly a complaint, but it was sort of framed that way. A patron who wanted to remain anonymous proposed the following changes to make AADL more accessible to seniors. Get an app. Automatic renewals if no one else has asked for the book up to 5 times, and everything else that is on the website. No fines for seniors, even on Mel's. So just a few things to respond to here. We really have no plans to offer a native app for a couple reasons. One, no matter what you do, you have to develop it for multiple platforms. But the bigger problem is once you deploy an app, nobody ever updates them. And if your users aren't updating your app, it allows problems that you can solve on a website and patch and close to remain with you forever. So instead, we focus on having our website work as well on mobile as we possibly can. And if you haven't discovered this trick, if you save your login, you will just stay right logged in. You can go right to it, and even save AADL.org to your home screen, and it's very easy to get right to your website. So we really don't have any plans of having an app because it really only makes access harder when things need to change, and inevitably they do. As far as automatic renewals, I'm sorry, there's just no way. This is not something, I know some libraries do this, but in our case, if you are done with your item, we'd really like to have it back on the shelf so other people can know that it's there. We are not so concerned about the statistics, and automatic renewals help a lot with statistics, but it is just not something that we see happening because generally, because we don't charge overdue fines, if you miss your due date, just bring it back when you're done. So automatic renewals really just winds up keeping less material available to your friends and neighbors. So it's not something that we plan to do, even though I know that some libraries have been doing that. No fines for seniors. Good news, there's already no fines for seniors. There's no fines for anybody except for MELS. The reason there's fines on MELS is because those are not our items. They belong to other libraries. And when we borrow materials from other libraries, and we are a heavy, heavy user of the Melcat network, our patrons borrow around 3,000 items on Melcat per month. So we are one of the biggest users of Melcat, and it's kind of important that our neighboring libraries aren't sick of sending things to us, because that can get complicated very quickly. So as a result, we continue to charge those fees on MELS because we want to make sure that we get those back to everybody else. Also at the same time, Melcat is used by generally less than 10% of our patrons. So it's something where we really want to make sure that we're being a good neighbor to everybody. And but thank you for all those comments, and those are my responses to them, and that's my report for this month. Any questions? All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Eli. Seeing none, we'll move on to old business, where we will hear about an update on the redevelopment of the downtown library with Eli.
Okay, so just a couple quick updates here. We are in the process of negotiating the easement development and construction agreement, which are the set of parallel agreements that go with the agreement that the library board approved and the city council approved a couple months ago. So that process will continue as we do the due diligence. Documents are being provided for due diligence, things like the engineering studies of the garage, environmental impact statements, all kinds of documents that then are reviewed by engineers and consultants to make sure that before the transaction closes, just like when you're buying a home, you know, you get under contract, you do your inspection, you know, those are the sorts of things that are be happening over the next couple months, and we're still on track to hopefully be ready to close on the transaction by the end of summer, if all goes well. So that work continues, and as that work continues, we're continuing to sort of develop the concepts that will then feed into our RFP, or request for proposals, that we'll be working on this fall. So that will be coming later, but at the moment, lots of billable hours involved, and between now and then, we will continue to work on the due diligence and be ready to close the transaction and take possession of the air rights. Any questions about that? All right, thank you very much.
Incredible. And we are going to stay with Eli to talk about the acquisition of the Ann Arbor Observer.
Okay, so we've been continuing the conversation. We have a next step coming up next week. We'll be meeting with them again. And I think we're moving towards a concept of the way that it should work. And once we have that kind of firmed up and everybody on the same page, I think we're in a very good position for that. The next step will be to revise the term sheet, because the term sheet that we had last fall was really only through the end of January, and then we've continued to talk about how that should continue to work. So we'll have a revised term sheet, and then we'll begin the process of finalizing transaction agreements, provided everyone wishes to proceed. So that work continues. There's lots of discussion, lots of details to be worked out, and we will continue to update on that as it goes.
Thank you, Eli. We will now move on to new business, where we have a resolution to amend the 2025-2026 approved budget. I will read the resolution as follows. The board resolves as follows: to transfer $40,000 from capital outlay to communications, to transfer $10,000 from capital outlay to copier expense, to transfer $30,000 from capital outlay to legal expense, to transfer $125,000 from capital outlay to operating supplies, to transfer $100,000 from capital outlay to purchased services, to transfer $20,000 from capital outlay to utilities, and that all resolutions and parts of resolutions that conflict with provisions of this resolution are rescinded. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Now, discussion.
Let me just, this is a routine action that we take at the June board meeting to make adjustments transferring from one line item to another so that none of our line items finish the year over budget, ideally. Now, there's always a possibility of a surprise invoice showing up or something like that in June as we're settling things out. So occasionally, sometimes they still run over slightly, but that is within the line items, not running over overall. These are all line items that we've been talking about that we will likely need a revision to all throughout the fiscal year. Many of these things have already been addressed. For example, we've been talking about we made a change this year to what's operating supplies versus capital outlay, which is why we're making that transfer at this point. But next year's budget already anticipates this spending pattern. So that shouldn't be an issue next year. And additionally, the transfer to purchase services, we've been using a lot more consultants this year as we've been proceeding through all of these various projects that we've been doing. So that was what that transfer was. That line item is significantly increased in next year's budget. So we should be in good shape for that. And that's the basics for this. The rest of these are fairly immaterial. Any questions about any of these transfers or any concerns?
Seeing no further discussion, we will move into a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed? The budget amendment passes. We will now move on to the director's evaluation letter from AADL board. As a note, this is an item of discussion, and there's nothing to vote on here, but I will read our evaluation letter of our executive director, Eli, into the public record. It's a little awkward, but bear with us. Dear Director Nyberger, it is my honor, on behalf of the Ann Arbor District Library Board of Trustees, to submit this letter as your formal performance evaluation for the period beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. In preparing this letter, I have viewed independent evaluations from members of the board and upward reviews collected by the AADL-A and AADL-SA. This has been a year of significant momentum and visionary preparation. You have remained a steadfast leader, navigating the complexities of our grand visionary project with good humor, heart, and grace. The board admires how you have managed skyrocketing event attendance and record-breaking summer games numbers, ensuring that the organization handles this growth smoothly and efficiently. The success of last summer's proposals A and B ballot questions was a colossal achievement that has placed the library in a stronger position than ever before. Your savvy navigation of the local political climate and productive relationships with the municipal leadership has been instrumental in avoiding friction and achieving low drama results, such as the D1 rezoning and the DDA opt-out. We recognize your diligent work in countering disinformation with clear, factual resources, moving the community conversation from if a new library should be built to what it could become. Your fiscal stewardship remains exemplary. Under your leadership, the library is thriving financially, and you have overseen a seamless transition to modern accounting systems and pristine audits. We appreciate your prudent approach to testing service ideas, such as the lobby shops, to ensure design decisions for the new downtown building are rooted in proven operational success. Internally, the board is pleased to see you delegating more to your senior management team to focus on the upcoming capital project. You continue to lead with a rare combination of heart and organizational skill, fostering a culture of excellence. As we move toward a demanding construction phase, the board hopes you will further develop in the area of internal management and staff relations to maintain healthy, productive relationships and partnerships with library unions, managers, and all employees. In this next chapter, prioritizing active listening to staff feedback will be essential to ensuring the entire organization remains aligned and supported through significant change. We trust your commitment to professional engagement will help navigate the inevitable complexities ahead. Beyond Ann Arbor, you continue to enhance the library's reputation through international collaborations, such as partnerships with Gangdu-gu, don't know how I did there, and your leadership in the Evergreen Project. These efforts provide unique value to our patrons and the broader library profession. Your commitment to access for all further evidenced by expanded Indigenous programming in the Anishinaabe Signage Project, demonstrates that our values remain at the forefront of our operations. Finally, the board wants to recognize your, as you say, disturbingly responsive communication and transparency. You seek our feedback genuinely and keep us well informed of both day-to-day concerns and long-term strategic risks. While we acknowledge the challenges ahead, we share your optimism. The community trusts you, and we have full faith in your ability to deliver a crown jewel library for Ann Arbor. With appreciation, Aiden Sova, President of the Ann Arbor District Library Board of Trustees. Thank you, Eli.
Thank you, Aiden. Thank all of you.
Now we have an item of discussion. If there is anything a member of the board would like to be read into the public. Seeing none, know that we appreciate you, Eli. I will now ask Jordine if there are any public comments. Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.